You know, they're kind of the invisible workers of the internet, right? The little engines running silently behind pretty much everything we do online. I'm talking about bots. And they have this wild dual nature. They can be your best digital friend, but they can also be a really, really nasty foe. So today, let's figure out what they're all about.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. When I say the word bot, what's the very first thing that pops into your head? Are you picturing a helpful little assistant, or is it something a bit more sinister, hiding in the shadows? Just kind of hold on to that thought for a minute.
Okay, let's just get down to basics. Bot is just short for robot, obviously. But we're not talking about some walking, talking machine from a sci-fi movie here. In our world, the digital world, a bot is just a piece of software, a program that's built to do one thing: automate all those boring, repetitive tasks. And here's the kicker: it does them all by itself at an absolutely insane speed. Let's start with the good guys, because honestly, the internet as we know it would just fall apart without them. You are interacting with helpful bots all day, every single day, and you probably don't even realize it. They're like the unsung heroes of the digital age, just working away behind the scenes. I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single time you do a Google search, that's only possible because a crawler bot, like Googlebot, has already gone out and indexed like the entire web for you. That helpful little customer service window that pops up and answers your question instantly? Yep, that's a chatbot. Even as we're talking right now, there are bots all over the globe monitoring websites for problems and backing up critical data. They're everywhere, and they're absolutely essential.
And this really gets to the heart of what makes them so incredibly powerful. It's that combo of working on their own and doing it super fast. They don't need a lunch break, they don't get tired, they just do their job over and over at a scale that's almost impossible for us to wrap our heads around. And that incredible power, well, it can be used for good or for not so good.
So now we have to flip the coin and look at the dark side, because that exact same power, that speed and automation, can be twisted and turned into a weapon. This is where we run into the malicious bots, and when they team up, they create something genuinely terrifying: a botnet.
So what in the world is a botnet? Okay, picture a giant network of infected computers. We're talking thousands, maybe even millions of them, scattered all over the world. And they are all being secretly controlled, like puppets, by one single attacker, the botmaster.
Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of a zombie army, a digital zombie army. And here's the truly creepy part. Your computer could be one of those zombies. It looks totally fine on the outside, it works normally, but secretly, it's just lying in wait for orders from its master, ready to help launch an attack at any moment.
So what does this zombie army actually do? Oh, man, all kinds of chaos. They can launch what's called a DDoS attack, which is basically like sending a million zombies to cram into a single doorway at once, shutting down a whole website. They send out billions of spam emails, they steal your passwords and personal info, they can even commit fraud to make money. It's a huge criminal operation, and the botnet is their #1 weapon.
Okay, so you might be thinking, hold on, isn't this just a fancy name for a computer virus? That's a really common question, and it's a good one. But there is a huge difference that makes bots a totally unique and, frankly, a much more dangerous kind of threat.
Check this out. See, a virus or a worm is kind of like a firecracker. You light it, you throw it, and it just goes off. It spreads and does damage, but you can't steer it once it's out there. A bot, though, a bot is like a remote-controlled drone. It has a pilot, and that remote control capability is everything. That's what lets a botmaster organize them into this massive, coordinated army for surgical strike.
So these digital zombies don't just pop up out of thin air. They have to be created, right? Which brings us to the really big question. How do they even get onto our computers to begin with? And, more importantly, how do we slam the door in their face?
The ways they get in are probably things you've heard 1,000 times before. You've got your Trojan horse malware hiding inside a program that looks legit. You've got phishing emails with those sneaky links, shady websites, fake software downloads. It's all the classic stuff, designed to trick you, to catch you when you've let your guard down for just a second.
Okay, so the whole point of these things is to be super stealthy. So how in the world would you even know if your machine has been infected? Well, turns out there are a few telltale signs you can keep an eye out for.
So ask yourself, is your computer suddenly running at a snail's pace for no reason? That's a red flag. Have you noticed a weird, unexplained spike in your internet usage? That could be a bot calling home. Or, and this one is a biggie, has your antivirus software suddenly stopped working?
Oh yeah, that is a classic move a bot makes to cover its own tracks.
And this is really why it matters so much. It only takes one, just one, infected machine, your machine, can become an unwilling soldier in a global cyber attack, and you would never, ever know it was happening.
All right, that all sounds pretty grim, I know, but it is not a hopeless situation, not even close. You absolutely have the power to protect yourself, so let's talk about building your personal defense plan.
Here's your checklist. It's actually pretty simple. 1. Get good antivirus software, and this is key, keep it updated. 2. Update everything else. Your operating system, your browser, all your apps. 3. Just be a little skeptical. Think before you click on weird links or download strange files. 4. Make sure your firewall is turned on. And 5, and you hear this all the time for a reason, use strong, unique passwords. That's it. These simple steps make a huge difference.
See, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. Digital security isn't a one-time thing you set up and forget. It's an ongoing practice. It's about combining those smart habits with updated tools so you can always stay one step ahead.
And that really brings us to what's next. Our world is only getting more automated. Bots are going to become an even bigger part of our lives. So you have to wonder, where is the next battleground against the malicious ones going to be? And as AI gets smarter and smarter, will we even be able to tell the good bots from the bad ones? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.